Welcome, everyone, to the Everything Show, episode 896. I am your host, Matrix Lord 212, and I'm with Connor Farley. What's up, Connor?
Hello.
What's up, Connor Smyth?
Hello.
What's up, Night Owl?
Hi.
All right. So, what are the box office numbers so far, Connor?
I don't know the total of Rogue One, but I can tell you it's overtaken Captain America Civil War as the second highest grossing domestically movie of 2016.
I can give you an exact number, actually.
Cool. That'd be useful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The domestic number is tentative because not all the figures are in, so it's an estimate or guesstimate. Right now, it's 439,714,705. We also got in 350 million from foreign markets, with a grand total worldwide of 789,714,705. So, this is where we're at. By, I would say, tomorrow, or no, actually not tomorrow, because tomorrow they're just going to have an updated version of this. So this is, as of Wednesday, it's going to be officially 800 million compared to Tuesday's numbers. And then on the 4th, we are going to hit China. And that is when stuff goes down. Big time. So we will reach beyond the billion. Probably a couple days after we'll get reporting from China. So by the weekend, next weekend, it will be well over $1 billion. So what do you think of that, everybody? I'll go Connor Smyth.
What do I think about the numbers?
Yes.
I think it absolutely deserves it, really. I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
It's a Star Wars film.
It's a great film.
It is
Fantastic.
it's a great film, and it's a Star Wars film, so it's pretty obvious that it's going to get those numbers. I'm not overly surprised, if I'm honest.
Right. What's up, Scott?
Nothing.
All right, so we're almost at 800 million for Rogue One.
What's
Yes.
important here is that Lucasfilm, didn't Kathleen Kennedy say that she's going to decide what happens in the future in January?
I think that what they're talking about is do they have a Boba Fett movie, right? You're talking about?
It's like they said something. Do they go with episodic Skywalker saga trilogies, or do they go solely for standalone? So I think
the original plan was, after they did Episode 9, to take like a 10-year break from the episodes and just keep going with the standalone movies. But the problem was they were worried that the standalone movies might not be able to hold the weight because they weren't known if all of them were going to be successful. Now, they already had Rogue One as a success. So that's the first. And then we have Han Solo, which, again, we don't know how that's going to do. But I think they're going to cancel plans to have Episode 10 years from now. And I think they're going to just go right into it and maybe take a 3-year hiatus break rather than a 10-year. And just go.
I always wondered what happened to the Boba Fett movie they were going to do. Like, I heard about...
I think they backburnered it, just like they decided to backburner the whole Yoda thing, because in truth, people don't
as of
really
2
know
weeks ago,
his
it's back in
secret.
production.
Yeah, right now, as far as I know, it is the third spin-off or standalone
It's
movie.
strange because it keeps flipping from out of production, in production, out of production, in production. Now, whether that's because the weighing up all their options, like, could they go for another story, or can they stick with Boba Fett? You know,
I think they're very worried about Boba Fett.
it's entirely possible that they've hired 2 sets of writers to write the Boba Fett one and another one, so then they can, as I said, weigh up their options, see which one's going to be better for the time, and then they'll go ahead with that. I have no doubt in my mind, even if it's not in 2020, we'll still get a Boba Fett film. If in the next decade or something, we will definitely get a Boba Fett film. Whether it's in 2020 or not is a completely different thing, I think.
I think the thing is that with Han Solo, people wondering, all right, we have a good cast, but will this work? Are people interested in this? Because this is not directly tied with anything. The Empire.
And I know it's getting off top of it, but with the death of Carrie Fisher, people might start thinking, how is this going to affect the Han Solo movie? And is it proper to have somebody CGI a dead person? I haven't had a chance, but one of the other YouTube stations.
The Han Solo movie has nothing to do with Princess Leia, nor is it going to have anything because it's going to be way before he met her. So it's going to be young Han Solo with adventures well before he meets her. So she's not going to be even in it at all, in any form, as far as I know.
Can I just say something?
Yes.
About the argument over whether it's ethical to resurrect actors using CGI. I think it's a stupid argument. I think it is right, and I don't think people should be getting on the high horse about it, saying it's wrong, because it's not. I don't see how you can say it's unethical, because it's not like it's disrespectful. Like when you see Grand Moff Tarkin in Rogue One, that's not disrespectful. It's bringing him back to life. You know, it's his family.
Well, if I could bring
his family gave them consent to do that.
Carrie Fisher's characters, they just used a different character. They used this one other actress's face as the base for it, so they wouldn't have to do overly CGI Carrie Fisher to where she looked as though you pretty much Botoxed her to.
And also, if you think about it, with the Carrie Fisher thing, she's getting the credit. You know, the actress behind the face is not getting any word. People probably don't even know her name. You know, Carrie Fisher is being mentioned as she's the very last shot in the very last thing we've seen before her death. You know, that's what people are saying. They're not saying that is it Ingrid something or other that's a name. It is Princess Leia, you know, in the
something. Hey, Chris, what's up?
Hey, Chris.
How are you, Chris?
Hey, what's up? Sorry, Raw ended late.
Okay, no problem. If I could just say something. Way back when they made Star Wars Empire and Jedi, George Lucas was a man ahead of his time. He thought about every kind of contingency, whatever. He had them sign.
He did do things.
He had them sign a paper, and he even did weird shots, getting all different camera angles, even though the technology didn't catch up to whatever. So he definitely had his permission before the family gave permission. Just like he got things of Luke, you know, like Mark Hamill, you know, Carrie Fisher. He did all that in the 70s, okay? Not only that, but yes, the family gave permission now. But if the actor had signed a waiver, which they did, saying that they give full permission for them to use their likeness as long as their family's paid, who gives a crap what anybody else in the media thinks?
And also,
because the family's making money from it, and they're okay with it.
And
sorry,
also,
I don't mean to. Oh. Wait, what are we talking about?
Chris.
I'm sorry. What are we talking about?
John was bringing up about, is it right to bring back dead characters like actors in Star Wars movies? Like, is it ethical or not?
Okay. All right. I'm sorry, Connor. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, it's fine. Disney own Princess Leia as a character. They own Grand Moff Tarkin as a character. They can use their property. You know, I don't think it should be entirely up to the actors, even for the likeness-wise, because they do own that character.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
they
really see the disrespect in it at all. It doesn't really make any sense to me.
Yeah, because I saw nothing wrong with them doing it either. I was just making.
Like I said, Disney didn't always own them. George Lucas did back then, and George Lucas got the permission from them. And when he sold everything, Disney's got permission, so it's fine. I see nothing wrong with it. I don't think the media needs to create any type of stupid story wrapped around it either, because the actors and actresses gave permission. So who cares what anybody thinks? Honestly. Carrie Fisher's daughter is going to be making money. That's her estate, and her sister, and dog, and the brother. I mean, who cares? Look at Nicholas Courtney. They got the permission from the family to do that, just to do a thing like that, and they got paid too. So that's Doctor Who we're talking about. But anyway, all right. So besides that, Chris, I mean, you obviously don't have a problem with that either, right?
No, I mean, you know what I really think a lot of this is coming down to? It's the fact that some people don't like the use of CGI characters like that. Mm-hmm. Because I can tell you one of the main complaints that I'm seeing about Rogue One in general is the use of CGI to make Tarkin and Leia, because people are like, well, I can tell it's fake. Well, congratulations, you can tell it's fake. Like, nobody cares. Like, I can't tell you how many people I've seen who are saying, oh, they shouldn't do it because it doesn't look real. You know what?
Use those characters.
The human eye is very good at...
No hope.
The human eye is very good at detecting things that are fake.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way around it right now. So you know what? When these characters should be in certain movies, I don't see a problem with them doing that. I thought the CGI looked fine.
Yeah.
I thought Tarkin looked and sounded exactly like Tarkin. But
I was fine with
the actor they got play him. I mean, he even did Cushing's voice, and if you
exactly.
When they showed it back to back on something that I saw, you could literally tell little difference, and it was like, I got chills.
Like if we were talking on the level of like what they did in Terminator Salvation with the T-800, then I'd be like, okay, maybe they shouldn't do that. But this was like 100 times better than that. So I don't know why people are getting so upset. Because these are the same people that would complain if they weren't in the movie. Like if Tarkin didn't show up, they'd be like, "Where's Tarkin? This movie sucks." And it's like,
why didn't they use Leia? Why didn't she do a cameo?
Yeah, I'm like, I think I'm like the one person that I'm really embarrassed to say this, but I couldn't really tell the difference between the CGI version and the real version. They look pretty good to me.
It's just annoying how people are trying to act like they're moral by saying, you can't CGI characters, but it's a pathetic argument at the end of the day. It's already happened,
I just starting to think that people are just want to be a shit disturber so they can be part of
it's just the mentality these days. You've got to be different. You've got to act right, but what is right? You know what I mean?
There's a lot more things in the world that are immoral. Not a fucking CGI animated character in a fucking film. Honestly.
Yeah.
It's pathetic.
Right. I mean, it annoys me how... Sorry, go on. It just annoys me how I'm looking at some tweets about it right now, and someone says, "No, Disney, we do not want a CGI Princess Leia in future Star Wars movie. Have some respect for the family and loving fans of Carrie Fisher." I think the loving fans of Carrie Fisher would want her to be in the movies.
She's not...
And I think she gave full permission anyway.
She was still alive when they made the character.
Yeah.
Like that boggles. It's like, wait, don't you realize she didn't show up in the movie when Carrie Fisher died? They animated this like months ago.
Mm-hmm.
So,
it was fine with her.
And it would also bother me if going into episode 9 and Leia wasn't killed off. Say, hypothetically, they animate her. It'd be more disrespectful to my personal viewing of the film if they just completely ignored her.
Oh, yeah.
Right, well, you know what? Nobody said anything when John Candy died. When John Candy died and he couldn't finish their movie and they had to do some type of CGI thing with him or something with the Crow, and they had to do CGI with that. Nobody gave a shit back then. But now everybody complains about everything in this day and age because they want to have something to freaking talk about and make something out of nothing, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Carrie Fisher's family's all for it. Carrie Fisher was alive. Hello. When it happened, she was all for it. I mean, when the actor in the 70s, George Lucas didn't have the technology he did now, but he did know that at some point in time, he was doing different camera angles, even though it wasn't in the film, because he knew he was going to do something like this if they died. And he had them sign. They even have Alec Guinness's rights to do it because he said, if I die, yes, do what you got to do, and it's fine. So that's the end of the subject, really.
Nobody got pissed off when they extrapolated his voice for The Force Awakens.
No.
Because,
So
it's almost the same thing. I know he's not animated in it, but technically his voice was in The Force Awakens. So how come nobody was like, how dare you?
That's fine. They're just
visual.
They're just trolls, or they're just complainers, and they're haters. So that's it.
It's easy to take something voiceover and work it, but when you take the actual physical form, they feel that they're just being haters. They're just starting a ruckus for no reason. All right, so now let's get to the topic of: are they going to do episode 10, 11, and 12 sooner than later, Chris? Because they're not.
Not it's soon, I don't think.
I mean, because supposedly, what did they say, Connor?
Kathleen Kennedy said like months ago that she's going to decide whether they do episodic Skywalker saga films or if they'll just go
after 9.
A total slate of standalones for till the end of time or whenever they decide to rest the franchise.
So, I mean, again, she didn't make a decision, but more than likely, they'll get a break, maybe not a 10-year break, right, Chris? But maybe like a 5-year break or something?
I would want a 10-year break, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I would be perfectly fine if after 9 they focused on doing anthology films, and then after a while they brought back the episode things. But here's my thing, though. I would not be upset if the episodes were not Skywalker focused. If they decided to have them do something else, I'd be okay with that.
We're Skywalker. We need to branch off.
I mean honestly, there's not many Skywalkers left.
And what's stopping them from doing trilogies of standalones?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm fine with them being Skywalkers, yeah.
I'm to be honest, I'm getting bored of Skywalkers. I mean, you can't. It's perfectly. It's perfectly obvious at this point that you can't get any better than Luke.
What did you say? No.
I'd say if I would want a movie about anybody, it'd probably be Darth Maul, because I feel like Darth Maul was one of my favorite characters from the sequels, and they kind of just killed him off real quick.
Yeah, he should have been at least in those first 3.
Yeah, he should have been a villain in the prequels.
He's great in Clone Wars and Rebels. He's really, like, I'm not really a big fan of him in Episode 1, but he's great in Clone Wars and Rebels. He's a really good character.
I think they need to do a Darth Plagueis movie first.
Yes.
Because that could have
or Knights of the Republic. Knights of the Republic, right?
I got to tell you, I'd rather see the Plagueis movie first, because that means you'd see young Palpatine.
Yeah.
And if it's anything like the novel, I'm all for that, because he was great in the novel.
I bought that novel, but I've still not read it.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's a fantastic read.
I'll have to get round to it, but from all the theories I've heard about Snoke that we were talking about the other day, I'm quite interested in this Darth Plagueis character, and from what we heard about him in Revenge of the Sith, sounds like a very interesting character. I'd like to see more developed on him.
So what do you guys think Rogue One's going to finish off at? I mean, right now it looks like $1 billion next week. Easy, by next Saturday. So, I mean, we got to see China's numbers.
Well, China's a massive country, isn't it?
Either $1.5 billion or $1.10 billion.
It's not even just China. It's like a whole bunch of places, I think, too, besides China. On the 4th.
Well, doesn't it get released in Japan like a few weeks after?
I know that the 4th is the last day it's released everywhere. So, you know, if it wasn't released in Japan already, it would be on the 4th. Let me just check and see. Hold on a second. What we have here.
Yeah, but remember, Japan's box office works a lot different than other places.
Yes.
Like they count tickets sold rather than the amount of money it makes.
Japan already has it, and it already made 17,380,292. So I guess we're just waiting for China, really. That's the thing. China and Peru, and that's it. Just China and Peru. So that's what we're waiting for.
What did they make from The Force Awakens? Because that might be able to give you a prediction. Because there are new fans coming in, obviously.
Okay, Force Awakens made in China. Let's see. Basically, 124 million.
Damn.
124,159,138. So, opening weekend was 52 million there. So, you know, as long as we get I guess another 100 million, but they could like Rogue One better than Force Awakens. To be honest, I mean, we can get maybe 200, 300 million out of them. So, either way, it's going to $1 billion. That's definite. There's no doubt. It's going to $1 billion, even if it's not because of China. I mean, it's going to be at 800 million by Wednesday at 5 o'clock. It's going to say that, and then it's still making money here. So if China didn't even come out, period, it probably still reach $1 billion because the numbers it's putting out every day it's astronomical. You know. So, all right, and then what's going on with the Han Solo thing?
It's apparently being delayed until December 2018.
Isn't that obvious, though, that, I mean, they're not going to release anything in May because they feel that in December, that's when they're going to make their money. I mean, didn't they originally do that with Rogue One? It was supposed to be in May, and then it was, right, Chris? And then they made
Episode 8. It was Episode 8.
It was Episode 8.
Oh, Episode 8, okay. So, I mean, that's the way it's probably going to be. Nothing's going to come out in May. It's going to be December.
The thing about the Han Solo movie is, I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing like a Han Solo story, but it's really hard to imagine Han Solo anybody but Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
I know. That's going to be the test, though, obviously. We got Rogue One did phenomenal, but is Han Solo going to do as well? Don't expect Han Solo to be like $1.5 billion or $1 billion. I mean, you know, you can't expect that every movie.
Oh, I think it probably will be.
You think it really will?
Because you've got Lawrence Kasdan out there saying that this is the greatest Star Wars script ever. So I mean,
Jesus. And
when he says that, people go.
$1 million.
Yeah. All right. And Boba Fett was still not confirmed, right? It's back and forth, right, Chris?
I hope they don't make that, to be honest with you. I really don't.
I mean,
because I don't think he needs a movie. I think that you make a movie about Boba Fett and you're on very shaky ground with that because you risk ruining the idea. And it's like,
why could you make a movie of Darth Vader before you make a movie about Boba Fett?
Darth Vader doesn't need a movie.
We've had a Darth Vader trilogy.
I think isn't like the prequels considered Darth Vader movies because it was his origin story pretty much.
But he could be pretty much going after all the Jedi that escaped.
Yeah, but that's the beauty of the last scene in Rogue One. We've never seen him so brutal before. I don't want to film just that. That would be stupid.
Right.
I'm telling you, too, they're not going to do it because they said that they want they want these anthology films not to be about the Skywalkers. So Vader getting one would be like, well, now is Luke going to get one? Is Leia going to get one?
Like somebody said, those first three were basically already Vader's origin story. So it would be, you're pretty much...
Well, Ben Kenobi, though, you could.
Yeah, he's not a
Skywalker. So, yeah. They could...
Right. Ben Kenobi would work. Probably work as a trilogy itself. I would think.
Maybe his life as a hermit on Tatooine after Order 66.
I think it'd be cool if they did like a Western with him, because you know how like they're doing different versions of movies with these anthology films. So we got a war film. I think maybe doing like a Western kind of thing with Obi-Wan on Tatooine. I think that would be pretty cool.
That's where your Magnificent Seven style could come into play.
Sure.
All right. And is there any other thought, any other spin-off movies that's... I mean, are they going to do a Yoda? Because I'm not for that one. Not really. I don't think I would be crazy about that.
I hope not.
I want to see one that focuses on villains more. Because
Well, but Knights of the Old Republic would be great. That would be old back.
in Rogue One, Krennic for me was the best bit. I loved Krennic. You know, villains like that, people that are not as powerful as Vader, but are quite high up in the Imperial or Separatist ranks. You know, have a film about them.
You know,
I would flip if.
You know what I think would be a great film is, so according to the lore, what happened is that the Jedi defeated the Sith and built a temple on top of the old Sith temple or whatever it was. I think it'd be cool to have, like, you know, a movie where we got to see the war between the Jedi and the Sith.
Like, isn't that the Knights of the Old Republic, right? Isn't that what that is?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. I would be all for that. Absolutely.
Kind of going off
be a
what
real
Connor said.
Jedi.
What?
Something about the origin of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Go that far back. Go to the
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
possible point in Star Wars lore. You know.
Yeah. I'd be all for that.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll do that when there's a break where there's no Skywalker episodes, and they just do it Knights of the Old Republic 1, 2, and 3 or something, or whatever.
I mean, going off of what Connor said before, I would love if they did a Star Wars anthology Thrawn. That would be great. I mean, I know he's in Rebels right now, but if they gave Thrawn his own movie, I think that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, me too.
Or Darth Revan. I mean, if they did something with Revan, which goes kind of with that Knights of the Old Republic thing, or if they did something with Darth Bane, because Darth Bane is still canon, so
Right.
that would be cool too to see how the Rule of Two gets established and everything.
Well, let me ask you one more question now. Before, besides that, any thoughts of who Snoke is? Anybody?
Like I said, I still think he's just a shadow character.
We can speculate till the sun goes down. We won't find out until
He's not Darth
2019.
Plagueis, maybe?
It could be Plagueis.
I still think he's Plagueis.
Yeah, a lot of people suspect it's Plagueis because what people have heard is that Plagueis was the one that found a way to be immortal. So it would make sense.
And he would be tied with the Force, where he would see what happened to Luke and all that, and Darth Vader, and yeah. I don't know. We'll see. Anything else on Star Wars, guys?
Well, have you heard about Disney getting a $67 million payout about Carrie Fisher?
Well, see, that's what they have with all the actors in case there's they can't. I guess they have. It's not. I don't think it's a. See, the thing is, I don't know if
it's one of the. Apparently, it's like the largest personal accident claim ever.
It's for compensation though, really, because she's important to the films. They were doing that, and so do the actors, and they're okay with it. I mean, it's like, you know, they understand that they're insuring them. If they die, they get a payout because they're doing, maybe they want to put an episode on or something or whatever. I mean, I mean, look, her family, you know, she was rich. Her family's got money. They're getting money still. I don't really see a big deal about it. Do you see a big deal about anybody? No,
None.
it's business.
Nope.
Business is business.
I don't see a big deal at all. So, all right. On that note, thank you guys. Take care. Bye for now.